Dad is fond of saying the human brain is an impressive and extraordinary part of the human body. It begins to go to work the minute you were born, and it stops the very minute you go before an audience and deliver a speech. So bear with me. Like always, let me start by thanking Mr. Body for the opportunity to speak today, and for creating a forum in which faculty and students can share their perspective on ethics in an oftentimes influential way. At one point or another, I feel like everybody has dreamed about making a speech. At least I know I have. You see them on TV, in the movies, you read about them, you hear about them. There's something pretty special about hearing a speech, and if it's captivating enough, it can really affect someone. It can change the way you think about certain things, improve your outlook on life, give you hope, make you a better person, and even help you address ethical dilemmas. I'm talking about those speeches that send shivers down your spine, the ones that make you want to climb Mount Everest, work harder, be nicer, and cherish your surroundings more. The list goes on, but I hope you all have had that experience at one point or another. I think Landon does a great job of compelling us to attend speeches and assemblies on a fairly regular basis. But let's be honest, some of these assemblies can be pretty uneventful and dull. Nothing more than nap time for most students. I hope this doesn't become nap time. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to make a speech. Now there's basically only one way to do this at Landon, and that's student council speeches. Since I wanted absolutely no part in student council, I was pretty much out of luck. But I still wanted to make a speech and be heard. So in 7th grade, George Paluzzi and I signed up to do the student council speeches late that spring. A couple of days before the speeches, the 7th grade dean, Miss Sears, informed George and I that we wouldn't be allowed to deliver our speeches because we'd make the speech a joke and promote anarchy and unrest with it, or something along those lines. Anyone that was in our 7th grade class meetings knows that she was probably right, so I backed off, but I was pretty disappointed. So when Mr. Body started allowing seniors to do ethics speeches several years ago, I got very excited and knew I wanted to give one. Having listened to a lot of speeches over the course of my life, whether it's been at Landon, political speeches on TV, or even fictional speeches in movies, I've learned a lot from them. While it may seem obvious, I realized the most important part about delivering a speech is to somehow grab the audience's undivided attention and then use that attention to have an impact on them. Just don't bore them. Whether that means inspiring them to change an aspect of their lives, selling them on a political stance, instigating a revolt against authority, or even just sharing them a stimulating anecdote about your life. If you grab their attention, you've done your job. Knowing that I've wanted to make a speech for a while now, I've had a bunch of ideas. However, last spring when I actually secured a spot to deliver an ethics speech, I didn't exactly know what I wanted to say. I started recalling memories of speeches that had swayed me in the past. Most of them were movie speeches that took place in already inspiring places. Mountaintops, courtrooms, battlefields, locker rooms, or some other sort of inspirational environment. All I have is an auditorium with a general premise: ethics. I'll be honest, I started hoping something tragic and inspiring could happen to me so I could explain how this changed my life and perspective. A story even I could tell miserably and still motivate and inspire the audience. I realize that's usually the easiest way to capture my attention during a speech. The speaker tells a story of a traumatic moment in their lives and uses that story to gain my compassion and sympathy. It's pretty simple, but most of the people that come in and give speeches at Landis sway us with stories that are almost unfathomable to us, and that's why they grab our attention. I realize most of my extracurricular life experiences outside of Landon, while interesting and funny to my friends, might not be inspiring enough to faculty and other students. And some of them probably wouldn't even be appropriate to share publicly. I'm not downplaying my experiences at all. I've had 18 years of fantastic experiences, and I plan on adding to them, through risk-taking and trying new things outside the norm. All I'm saying is I don't have any family members that have passed away. I haven't been stricken with cancer. I haven't fought in a war or even seen anyone die. I always have food on my table, a roof over my head, and I'm getting a great education, and I have family and friends who I love and I hope love me. I haven't had any real horrible struggles that could be used to evoke compassion or sympathy from you guys. Of course, I wish I had a bunch of stories about saving people, life and death experiences, or how I started from nothing and became successful, but I don't. I'm young and only have just begun experiencing life. Fortunately, I've been sheltered from a lot of these struggles that most people in the world have to deal with on a daily basis. So I'll be the first to admit my struggles are pretty trivial in comparison. I do, however, have many great experiences that I've acquired here over my time at Landon. So rewind about 10 years. I just started 3rd grade at Landon, and like any kid, I was looking to fit in. Luckily, the standards of fitting back then weren't very demanding. All one had to do was simple. Wear Merrells instead of geeky dress shoes, play touch football during recess, or had previously attended primary day before Landon. Any of those things almost immediately secured you a spot. It was very welcoming. Since I wore penny loafers and didn't go to primary day, it looked like my only option to fit in was to thrive during those intense recess football matches. However, these recess games were irrelevant and could never overshadow the real buzz around the lower school. The epic showdown between the 3rd and 4th grade in the annual Shrimp Bowl. This year, the game would take place in the brand new Bordley Stadium, and we would be the first grades to play in it. I would go home more nervous and excited each and every day as the Shrimp Bowl loomed nearer and nearer. The hype around this game was bizarre and astonishing, but being a kid, I loved it more than ever. I knew it was going to be the pinnacle of my sporting career thus far, and like nothing else I had ever experienced. However, the size, experience, and confidence of the 4th graders, as well as little help from the referees, Mr. Phillips and Coach K, ensured that the 4th grade would win this annual confrontation, so that everything would go smoothly, and so order in the universe would be preserved, and the 4th graders would escape any psychological trauma if they ended up losing. The winner of this game gets bragging rights for the rest of their lower school days and beyond. Needless to say, the odds were overwhelmingly against the 3rd grade. Picking up on how nervous and excited I was for the game, my mom sat me down and explained the key to overcome this daunting task. It was confidence. She started by saying a bunch of quirky sayings like, "You've got to believe to receive," and my personal favorite, "It's better to shoot from the moon and land on the lamppost than to shoot for the lamppost and land in the gutter." Then she said, "Every night before you go to bed, tell yourself you're going to score a touchdown and you're going to win the Shrimp Bowl. And I promise you, it will all happen." Although she probably didn't even believe we had a chance herself, she nonetheless instilled in me a confidence and determination that could not be surmounted. Being the bubbly, honest, uncorrupted little angel I was back in 3rd grade, I believed her, and I listened to her. And oddly enough, I haven't since. So for 2 months, every night after she tucked me into bed, I would tell myself I'm going to score a touchdown, and we're going to win the Shrimp Bowl, over and over and over again. And you know what? I actually started to believe it. Not one doubt in my mind that the goal I would set would waver. I was going to score a touchdown, and we were going to win the Shrimp Bowl. So when that intimidating and fretful day of the Shrimp Bowl came, I knew I had one goal, one opportunity to accomplish the task I had set months before, and nothing could stop me from prevailing. I forgot about any fears of humiliation I might experience, and forgot about any odds that were against us. I played with utter confidence, conviction, and clear-mindedness. I was corrupted with confidence, ignorant and oblivious to anything but my goal. So when my time came, I scooped a fumbled pitch off the ground, scampered to the end zone, and tied the game at 6-6. Still tied at 6-6, the game came down to the last couple minutes, and the 4th grade eventually won from a touchdown scored by Charlie Schneider. Damn it, why does he have to go and ruin everything? Although we lost, I was still ecstatic. I'd accomplished at least part of my goal that I'd been striving for months. I'd given it everything I got. I had no regrets. I had succeeded in my book. Now fast forward to this past fall. 10 years had gone by, and I was not that innocent, uncorrupted, naive little angel anymore, as I think you all are aware. I was more older and conscious of the world around me, more aware of the consequences of humiliation and the faults in myself and others. I was no longer my virgin self, so to speak. I'd been corrupted with my current experiences and my current understanding of the real world. Not a naive little kid anymore, I was more focused on being cool rather than the task at hand. Since I still realize the benefits and advantages of being confident, I still always try to be. And I'll be the first to admit, some of the time, I can just be full of shit. But somewhere through those 10 years, I lost the blind, innocent, ignorant confidence that my mom had instilled in me. I was more cynical and realistic about the task at hand. So this fall, alone with Matt Underhill the night before the Bulls football game, I engaged him about our chances to win that next night. I confessed to him that I thought our chances were pretty slim, and that we might even get blown out. The odds were definitely against us. I'm sure you all remember. Most of my friends who were not on the team were already planning what they were